we'll let fly.
Well, maybe that I guess I just gotta say that it's the new number one favorite comic, Larry.
Wow.
Because I can now even say that I have my new favorite superhero.
Oh, I am. That's pretty cool. I'm down with Daredevil now. Daredevil, Frank Miller. You're gonna have some fun with Daredevil because Frank Miller.
It's especially impressive considering how last year our superhero, and I think it was even a Frank Miller, right?
Yeah.
Was the last place comic.
Yeah. So
Now it's Frank Miller. You done surprised me. I was going into this definitely like hesitant, and I'm like, I don't know how excited I am about this. And well, I love Daredevil. You know, he's got discipline as a superhero.
Looking at the Frank Miller Wikipedia page, it is nothing but like number ones. It's he did 300. He did Sin City.
You did 300? Shout out to Michael if you're listening. I work with this guy Michael, and he said that 300 is like one of his favorites.
I've never read it, but it's always been on my list, so maybe we should do 300.
Maybe soon enough.
And
keep your ear glued to the stereo.
Yeah. And then he revisits.
Don't touch that radio dial. We're gone all week.
And he revisits Daredevil in a comic in Daredevil Born Again, which is a very rough one to read, and it has an artist who we will definitely visit in one of our art walks, David Mazzucchelli. Wow.
David Mazzucchelli, all right, right in town.
So he does just an amazing, he's a great artist, and not very like he's done like some really signature work, but then like not very many like steady art things. Like there's not a book that I can read every month that he's working on. So it's sort of like you enjoy it.
Taste.
You get a taste. All right. Well, that is exciting news.
Larry, so because this is big news, my new favorite superhero, and so much of it is based on I've read this one comic, and like it's all pretty much his origin story. And I was trying to compare it to other superheroes and their origin stories, and I think it's other than the fact of the nuclear radiation in his eyes, if I can just like blank out that panel and just assume it's like someone poked him in the eyes or something, or like some bad guy like shrapnel from something hit him in the eyes. I think it's my favorite origin story.
Well, the origin story has the radioactivity.
Yeah,
you can't take that away.
Or his favorite, like whatever the bigger thing than like the actual act, like the backstory of the superhero, like where they came from and who are their, what their inspiration is, or why they are who they are.
Why do you think that is? Because of why do you think that is? Because of the blindness thing, or is it the location? Because I think this gritty street level kid story kind of like adds gravitas to that. He's not
like comparing it to Spider-Man, right? So I could say like Spider-Man, okay, he was bit by a spider, but like a bigger part of it to me, or not bigger, but equally as important, is with great power comes great responsibility. Right? That's a line that's like a guiding principle in Spider-Man. Right? And so in this one, we have the Kenny Rogers, promise me, son, not to do the things I've done.
Sure.
Walk away from trouble if you can, right?
And
I guess I like that, or like how Batman, he doesn't kill people, and there's like a reason why he doesn't do that. And we have this same type of thing played out in Daredevil, is like his dad just sets such a strong example, and like a very like, he's a boxer and he literally died for what he believed in, and he tried to do the right thing, and this is where violence is acceptable. It's like so straightforward, like it tells you so well like where Daredevil's lines and intentions are. That, like, I feel like a lot of other superheroes, it's more like, I'm a good guy.
Yeah, I'm a good guy. Right. That's cool.
Wolverine's got a pretty good one, I guess.
Yeah. I like Batman's.
Batman's got a great one. So I was actually genuinely curious. Who is, like, your favorite, like, or whatever that term is, that's more than just, like, how they became who they became, like, how they became beyond their superpowers.
Well, that is a pretty neat. That's a pretty good question. I'm gonna have to think about that because, like, what turned them into the upstanding or bad guy that they are? You know, like,
beyond just their power, who made them or whatever.
Right. Yeah. So, I don't know if you ever watched Batman animated series. But there's a Mr. Freeze origin story.
Oh.
As to what made Mr. Freeze, and it will.
Did he choke on an otter pop?
No. It is super sad and oh.
Oh, did his heart melt?
Yeah, his heart melts.
Oh, poor Iceman.
So if you really want to go down an origin story, I think that one's really up there with, like, how guy became.
That's a deep pull, Larry. That's what you're here for. Oh man, it would have taken me so long to find that if I went through all the origin stories to get to.
But now my mind is racing about origin stories. Yeah, this was a good one. All right, so
very solid.
And James has got a new
Captain
number
America,
one.
Not very relatable to me.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, Captain America. All right, so next week, James and I are going to get back together one more time and talk about an Image book published by Image, 32 pages on Comixology Unlimited.
Sweet.
This was a run that went 18 issues. So, and the first 6 issues are free on Comixology Unlimited. It was written by Ailes Cott. His name is spelled A-L-E-S.
Ailes,
And art by Michael Walsh. And colors, we're going to talk a lot about the color of this book.
Oh, it's got a separate colorist?
By Jordi Belair. And the book is called Zero.
Is it the number 0 or with a Z?
With a Z. Z-E-R-O. And I was...
Is the O the letter O or the number 0?
It's the letter O.
Oh.
And I was sort of noodling around in the genres catalog, and I went into military. And I thought,
Larry, do you know what my favorite number is?
No.
-0.
Ooh, that's a cool one to have for a fan.
Always, ever since I learned.
So this 0, not -0, it's just called 0, was found in the military genre. But I don't think this is a military book. It starts out, the first issue is a telling of a special agent in a military background. But the book itself goes off into crazy fantasy. So
okay, yeah, that doesn't sound like military at all.
So the book is called 0. Once again, it was published by Image, and I forgot my shout out.
Wait, Larry, sorry, do your shout out first.
I want to shout out 2 new listeners, Shane and Sam from a contracting company called Archer Smith. And if you want to really look at a very slick looking website, go to Archer Smith and look at their website. Wow. I was stunned by how nice it looks. So, shout out, Shane and Sam. Welcome aboard. New subscribers.
Sweet. So Larry, I was wondering, Never mind.
All right. Well, thank you all for being here. This has been Seattle's #1 comic book podcast. And check us out on the web at sn1cbp.com. Our website isn't as slick as Archer Smith, but it will be. And thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You always start the music so slow. Yeah. I guess
I don't know why I just thought of this, Larry, but I've been listening to. I have a new favorite driving song.
Oh, I need a new favorite driving song.
If it's only if you're like going fast, or like if you're driving without stop, like on the freeway for a long way or something. Eminence Front by The Who. It's like my new favorite driving song.
Say that again. Spell it.
Eminence Front.
Eminence.
Yeah, I don't know how to. EMMENANCE.
ANCE. Okay, I'm gonna check it out. Eminence Front.
Yeah, but you got to listen to it in your car.
All right, I got Spotify. All right, dude. I'll see you next week.
All right, see you next week.